Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sunday Perspective. With me, as always, we have got Dragon,
Hello, hello.
and we have got Telly,
Hello, everybody.
and
And
you have got me, Punky.
yes, yes.
And look
And
at
we are
that.
talking about what are we talking about, guys? We're talking
Today,
about
today we are kind of talking about setting goals and how we get around to keeping it, and that kind of thing. More about goal setting and kind of like organization and how we kind of do it, and like kind of tips and tricks that we use. And I feel like I could learn a lot from this just because.
Look at the chat.
Yeah, the
I
chat is
love
going
it.
wild. Kit
I
Kat,
love
hello.
it.
Welcome to the Sunday Perspective podcast. Yes, you came at the exact right time because literally we just started.
Look what I got with me, Kit Kat.
Oh,
Aww,
oh, for
that's so cute.
people listening on to in Spotify, this is kind of it is the pink blue reversible octopus. That
Look
is,
at what I just said.
Kit Kat says, "My goal is to be as cute as all you. No, you.
Aww, yeah.
No,
No,
you.
you.
No, you." Um, but yeah, so today that's what we're talking about goal setting and about that kind of thing. So, what? Because I wanna also learn a little bit too. What are some how do you guys set goals and how do you go about maintaining those goals?
See, setting a goal is easy.
Mm-hmm.
Following through on it
Well,
It's the
is
hard part, yeah.
is so hard. I mean, it depending on what it is. I mean,
yeah.
I do it a lot where I set a goal and then I don't follow through on it.
Yeah, that's
Dallas,
all.
hello.
Hi,
Dallas, hello.
Dallas.
Hello, Dallas.
How you doing?
How's it
Welcome.
going, Dallas? Good to see you.
A little context. Dallas is my director for the show that I'm doing, Londra's Mismatch Plate. I'm in that show, and Dallas is my director. For me, first part is making it achievable. Setting a date so you are accountable. Yes.
Yeah,
Um, it's
like a time frame, kind of. Yeah,
right.
that's what I would want to. That's what I would do. Yeah.
It's very much the case of setting a realistic goal because you don't
Yeah.
want to uh, like let me use Twitch as an example. It's like I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, I want to hit 1K by the end of the year. That's for me, that's unrealistic. So I'm gonna go something like, oh, I want to gain 100 followers by the end of the year. That's more realistic, It's important to set realistic goals,
Yeah.
goals that you think you can safely reach, and you know goals that you can break down into
Yeah.
segments and be like,
Yeah.
okay, part 1 is this, part 2 is this, part 3 is this. And I think it's important as actors too to set those kind of
Yeah,
goals too, like
definitely.
those small
Oh
goals.
yeah.
Like I got one. I got an example already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a personal example could be like for our last production, Shakespeare.
Yeah.
As You Like It, I'd say like a goal for me would at one point was to really kind of just be off book
Yeah.
by a certain time.
Yeah.
By a certain time period, by like
The
let's
off
see,
book dates.
Yeah.
like probably by Tech Week. So like for that, I was basically off book by Tech Weeks, and like I even like one night it was my stream night. I even kind of just said, you know what, I'm not going to stream. I'm just going to get these monologues down. So doing that really helped me out, because if it wasn't for doing that one day, I don't think I'd probably be stuck on the 2 monologues I had for my Shakespeare part.
Right.
I feel like
It's
with taking that time off and like not streaming, I kind of realized it was a good idea to study because I got the lines down.
right.
Yeah.
It's a very conscious decision. It's a very conscious decision that you have to make with yourself. Like, look, here's the thing I gotta do. It is important. So what do I need to do to not overwhelm myself? Because
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this outright. I'm extremely guilty of that, of overwhelming
Same.
myself.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
Same. I feel like everybody does
pretty
it.
much.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, biting off more than you can chew. It happens sometimes, but it's it's the follow through that is tough. I
Yeah.
agree. Punky, you wanna add
Yeah.
anything?
I mean, I was thinking of a good example, as you might all see what, my hand.
Yeah.
Um, so I had a weird bone deformity thing where my ulna was longer than it should have been, and it was causing a lot of pain and inflammation, and where I couldn't really move my wrist. So, I mean, my goal was to eventually get it fixed,
Right.
and that was a really tough one.
Right.
But like you said, you take it small steps at a time. Like, okay,
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna call a doctor and make an appointment. Okay, I'm gonna follow through with what this doctor is telling me to do.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna do these exercises the physical therapist tells me, and
Right.
um,
It's
so yeah. No, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, that was basically done.
It's
No,
because
you.
no, you exactly. It's always kind of overwhelming to think about, like, always just think about the end goal, because like you look at the in certain situations, like you look at the end goal, and it's
Yeah.
always like, how am I gonna get there? Like you would start thinking too much.
It's like you can't see the light, through the trees,
Right.
the light
Right.
through the
Yeah.
forest,
Right. But what is also important is to just take a breather and just be like, okay, one step at a time. Just be
Yeah.
like, okay, small steps. What do I need to do first? I should trust myself that I will get there eventually. Let me a lot of our examples are gonna come from like theater related,
Probably,
because
yeah.
that's where it's kind of deep rooted for us. It's like, okay, Shakespeare again. It was like, it's Shakespeare. How am I gonna get there? How am I gonna be able to get through these lines and this difficult, like, Shakespearean monologue, poetic style thing? Like, how is that gonna work? Because that is not language that we normally speak. We don't normally speak that way. And so it's really just a case of taking it day by day, one step at a time, one line at a time.
Yep.
And
True.
I try to practice what I preach, but even still, like, it's just, sometimes you can't ignore like that bigger picture. You can't ignore that end goal, because you're always like, some people tend to overthink.
Yeah.
And that's okay. So it's I recently watched a movie about Kit Kat says, I recently watched a movie about a successful content creator buying a mansion. They asked her if she had any tips for anyone wanting to do the same. She said, something that has been really heavy on my brain: sometimes consistency will get you further than hard work ever could. Yeah.
That's true.
That is
Yeah.
a very good,
Point.
very good phrase.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Very good example.
It's like, because if you're not consistently reaching your goal, it can become difficult to get to that point, to get the satisfaction that you get from reaching said goal, kind of that type of thing.
Mhm.
It's just, again, really boils down to kind of slowing yourself down, taking the time to be like, okay, what is it that I need to do in the moment to just
Yep.
to just progress that. And it couldn't be. It couldn't even be on things based on like. It couldn't even be things that are like weeks down the line. It could be months or years down the line. You
Yeah.
know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Again, not overwhelming yourself is kind of like the big thing. Small chunks.
I was gonna say, you know, with all of this, it reminds me of our stream talking about our New Year's resolutions. You know, we
Kind of
always
is,
do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I guess we could do a little follow-up on ours, because I think one of mine was to quit vaping,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
which I did. You know, when I moved in with my boyfriend on May 1st, I stopped vaping. Like,
Nice.
the next day, and I kind of just never picked it up again. So
That's good.
that's one thing.
There you go.
Trying to think of what mine was. I think I said like be more involved with theater, like branch out from that original company. Do
My
more
man.
things. And I'd say I've done that
My
so
man.
far. Like
Oh,
with the
yeah.
Disney theater,
Right.
like I was in like we're in the
Oh,
shorts
yeah.
now, and I was just in Shakespeare. So I'd say I've definitely hit my goal so far, and like I'm still gonna keep working on that too. Like I'm not done after this show.
Kit Kat says,
Thank-
"Way to go,
Thank you,
Funky."
kitten.
I will ask the chat. What were some of your goals that
Did I have any other goals, or is that basically mine? I think it was.
you can share?
I know I
whatever?
had one more, and that was to lose more weight.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Like a little over a year ago, I weighed like 190 pounds, but now today I'm 140.
Let's
that's good,
go.
That's
Let's go.
the one I'm most proud of right now.
There you go.
Thank you,
There
Kit Kat.
There you go. See, it's you had and it's determination too. Like you had a sense
Yeah.
of determination when approaching that. You were like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna do this, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this on my terms, and I'm gonna see it through, and I don't care what any hater or negative person tells me. I'm a see through this.
Yeah, whatever it is, you have to want it.
Right.
Right.
Whatever
Like, I
goal
think-
it is, you have to
yeah.
really want it.
Right.
I got kind of a small one that was kind of, well, I'd say has been fulfilled, that I've always kept in the back of my head. It was to get to see, well, this year, to get to see my favorite band, and I could say I've done it twice this year.
So good.
That's awesome.
So that's one big thing off the bucket list.
Yeah.
For sure now.
Bro, the War on Drugs is an amazing band.
Yeah, I got the shirt on.
Yeah. I had the shirt on. I don't anymore. I
Yeah.
had their other shirt on.
I got a poster right there too.
Yes. Yeah.
Aw,
My man's a full-blown fan. And
That's
you
Poster
sweet.
there, another one there, 2 vinyl records over there. Yeah.
I love it. That's like me and the band Hib.
There you go. There you go.
I think everybody's got a band like that.
Yeah, everybody does.
It's and for me, I'm gonna just go out there and say it. For me, it's not a band. For me, it's a show and a person, an artist. So for me, it is Phantom of the Opera, and within Phantom of the Opera, the dude Ramin Kirmalu, who was one of the Phantoms, and that's
Yeah.
kind of my favorite, because I have, and that's one of my goals too. Is kind of have my voice sound like at least in terms of mechanics, have my voice kind of like him. So that's why I don't have a fast vibrato. I try to kind of sound like this. Even in like pop music, my kind of musical theater will come out. Like instead of going, I jumped over a tree, I would be like, I jumped over a tree. Like there's
I know exactly what you mean, dude.
It-
When I took chorus and everything.
it
Yep.
comes out.
Yeah.
My goal is to be the best version of myself mentally, and I've started on that path. I'm taking small steps and proud of that. There you go.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Good.
You should be proud of
Good,
that.
Yeah.
Good. And it helps. It helps because you got people legitimately who got your back, who are there to kind of give you a give you guys a safe space to grow. And it's good to have friends like that,
Yeah.
because having positive relationships, having positive people in your life helps your goals.
Yeah.
It does.
Because when you get stuck, you can go to them for advice. You can be like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing with here, so
Yeah.
I need some help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's totally okay to ask for help when you get stuck,
Right. Yeah.
it is. It really is. I mean, I hate the thought of somebody feeling like they're in that situation where they have nobody to go to and nobody to, or that not so much they don't, but that they don't want to. And
Right.
to take that step and say, look, this is what I really want. This is how I'm going to work through it. It's tough,
Yep.
especially when it comes to like your health.
Yeah.
That is kind of, it's weird how like you think our health
Right.
would always be our main priority,
Right.
but it's so often people put that aside
Right.
to take care of others, or they rather take care of others than themselves.
Right.
But
It's like
yeah,
it's like it's kind of difficult for people to talk about certain things that may be happening due to reason A or B, but I think it's really having again for like more difficult goals. It's not even just like your health. It's like really any difficult goal is like step one is opening up to the right person. I say the right person because not everybody, unfortunately, will help you
Yeah.
to
It's true.
get to
Yeah.
the goal. If you
it's
find
true.
if you find the right person for you, then your goals become easier, and you really feel much more comfortable opening up and being like, hey, this is the goal that I want to reach. This is what I want to do, but I don't. And there could be instances of, look, I don't know how to do this, so can you help me?
Okay.
It's
We got a few different. Oh, sorry.
okay. So, yeah, go ahead, Telly. You read those.
So we got a few different things in the chat right now. I got this one. I pointed out. We got something from Dallas here and Kit Kat. So Kit Kat first says, I also hit 1.5, and that's been a goal.
Yes!
Kit Kat.
Oh
Yes!
yeah, you go,
Yes!
girl.
Yes!
She says support is so important, and I'm lucky to have such amazing friends, which is true. That's good.
No, you.
And then, yeah, no, you.
Yeah, you.
And then Dallas has a good comment right here. He says, that is a great topic. When making goals, I think about the difference between routine and commitment.
Yep.
They often look the same. When setting goals, you need both, but on those days when you don't feel it, what reinforces the routine? The commitment.
Exactly. The
Ooh.
commitment. You have
Right.
to
Commitment,
really
definitely.
want what your goal is set on.
Yeah, you gotta be committed. Like you
Yeah.
gotta be committed to really fulfill it. Yeah.
I'm gonna use theater as an example, because it's
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry I keep using theater as an analogy, but that's the only analogy that I can use at this point, that I know best of. It's like end your end goal, like is like, your end goal is to put on a great show, and you've got that in your mind. But sometimes it's the constantly doing doing the same thing can get like really tiresome and really what's the word, where it's like monotonous. But
Yeah.
but what keeps you going is us actors, us directors, we live for the reactions of the crowd, of the actors that work with us, their happiness, and just the trust that is put in us by the theater company, and that kind of, I'm gonna speak for myself, and that kind of pushes me, because like I'm like, these actors they came to us because they know our work, they trust our work, and the theater company picked us to be
Yeah.
directors because again they know our work, they trust our work. So they're gonna trust us to see the end goal through.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
gonna trust us to be, and that's the routine, as Dallas said, the routine is broken by that commitment of, hey, this is what we gotta do, and this is, I'm here for it. I'm here for the satisfaction that a good job is gonna bring. So like I'm motivated by that. What is your
Yep.
take? What is your take on this? What is your guys' kind of take
Oh,
on
that question was for us.
yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I thought you were
What?
talking to Dallas.
No, because
Tell
that.
you go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the question again?
So this what Dallas, the comment that Dallas wrote. What is your kind of take on this a little bit?
Well, yeah, like how I mentioned before, like I'd say like how he says the commitment, like if you really want something, you need to be committed to it. Like if you're not committed, like you won't really fulfill the goal like faster, you know. Like if you show commitment to it and really like put the work and effort to whatever goal it is you're trying to reach, like you are gonna definitely get there.
Yep, for sure, for sure.
Hmm. Like it takes time and like effort and like the commitment too.
Yep. Punky.
I love how you mentioned the routine and commitment, and how they're different, but they appear the same.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that analogy that you use because it is very true. You do need both
Yeah.
because you can have that commitment, but when you get into the routine of working towards it, it kind of makes it easier, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
So let's kind of talk about times. Let's give examples of times when a goal was like got because we have to address like kind of the, I don't want to say the bad side, but like the difficult side of setting goals is like
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
do you think was a time when you were like, okay, I don't know if I can get here. I don't know really what I'm doing. And how were you able to resolve that situation?
Well, I right away I think of, my weight.
Yeah.
I was like I was so down. I was really down. I was depressed, and I felt like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm already doing everything, and eventually you kind of just have to really look at it. And I was finally able to, and I saw that, okay, I'm not doing everything I can to do
Yeah.
it. And, it's hard accepting something like that. But once you do, and you get past that part, then it kind of starts getting, a bit easier.
Right?
Yeah, that's good.
Telly, what about you?
Trying to think of one. I thought of one that might work. Had to really think for this one. So, you know how like well, I'd say like at one point like was to get back to college, like because like in 2016, like I at the college I went to, like I stopped going there. It wasn't like by choice because like I kind of was failing a lot of classes and stuff, and yeah, it wasn't too good. But so I took some time off, and I kind of one time it kind of just hit me like a year later, like I think I should go back to school. So like I did. I eventually went back to a different college, Bryan and Stratton. Like I went back there,
Yeah.
and I guess the goal would be like, I'm like trying to like graduate too, because I did. I in like 2019 I graduated with an associate's degree. I'd say like trying to get back to that point was a goal of mine, because I mean there was still some points in this time at this newer school where like,
Right.
oh, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I've had some hard classes, like how I talked about that hard computer class the other day,
Right.
and like, um, like accounting was pretty hard too, but I was able to get through it. I had a cool teacher, and like there's even one class well, this one math class I failed. I only failed one class at this school. It was my math class.
Yeah.
I mean, the teaching experience wasn't that good. Like, it wasn't an online class, but like the teacher really kind of enforced, like, really heavily pushed like this online program that's just confusing. And well, I did had to take that class again, but I actually ended up getting one of my favorite teachers. You know, Mr. M,
Yeah.
MS.
Right.
Dragon. Yeah, I got him the following year. And I
Right.
passed the class with flying colors, and then I eventually graduated. So like, there is hard work, like, and dedication you have to put into something like education like that. And like,
Yeah.
when I
Right.
failed that class, I was going through kind of a hard time at the same time, and I was kind of slacking with that class. But other classes, like, I don't know, I turned myself around once the new semester hit, and I was able to graduate.
So my question, kind of building off of that, and it's kind of like, do you think you have the tools now for reaching your goals that you didn't have back then? Do you think that now it's easier for you to reach those get through those tough goals that
Yeah,
maybe the
I think
tools
so.
weren't available to you back
Yeah,
then?
I
like not
think,
only was I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Okay, well, not only was the class hard itself, I'm talking about the math class I failed, but like that's like I mentioned at the time, I don't know, it was kind of a difficult time for me. I was kind of going through some stuff, and like
R-
I was slacking too.
right,
Like that's one thing that I was doing. Like I was like too busy slacking when I should have done homework.
right.
Um, yeah, not gonna go into full detail of what I was doing,
Understand
but
it.
you might already know.
Understand it.
But yeah, I was kind of slacking too hard at the
Right.
time, but then like I kind of turned myself around
There
though.
you go.
End of the year.
That's all that matters, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say that, like, we can say now, like, I know I have the resources and how to reach my goals, but there's gonna be other goals in the future
Right.
that
True,
we're
yeah.
not prepared for, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
So I think for now, I have, a good understanding of how to meet some of the goals that I'm familiar with.
Right.
Yeah.
But as far as like future goals that I might not be worried about right now,
Right.
that's going to be a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Right. One of my goals was like really kind of the main hurdle came after our last show we did as a band, because after that point
Yeah.
I was like
Yeah.
I was like, I would get extreme stage anxiety, and
Yeah.
to a point where like I couldn't even perform on stage, like very very well.
Mhm.
And I was kind of, when the Shakespeare audition happened, I was very kind of apprehensive. I was like,
Mhm.
is this gonna happen on stage? Because if this happens on stage, I might never go on stage ever again. And that was legitimately first night. I was That was a legit thought that went through my head,
Mhm.
but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It was the thing of taking slow steps, kind of breathing, and just having Telly there. And I'm gonna be straight up, having Dallas there as well, having
Yeah.
Amy,
And
Dallas,
definitely having you in the crowd too, Punky.
right.
Oh
helped
God,
out,
I
yeah.
was beaming with pride with you guys
Yeah.
there. I was just like, oh my God.
It
Yeah.
You
was
did
like,
amazing with it.
I think it was seeing those familiar faces.
Yeah. That's what helped me out. I mean, like,
It's-
yeah, seeing you guys, like, oh, you go ahead.
Right. I became it became a little easier, because I was like, okay, even if I do mess up, even if something happens, they got me,
That's right,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Like, they're here to see us, yeah.
And
Like,
it's-
they'll still support us, yeah.
and it's kind of circling back to the whole thing of surrounding yourself with people who, when you are tell them that you're struggling with a goal at some point, you know, they're gonna have your back. They're not gonna
Yeah.
use that as a weapon against you. You know, they're gonna be like, hey, it's okay. I see that this is happening. Let's talk through it. Let's see what we can do to kind of like make that easier. And that's the thing I just love about inclusive theater is like that's
Right.
all
Yeah.
that. They're all about that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like they make sure it all doesn't go unnoticed. They make sure you're addressed whatever issue you're having.
Right. Chat, if you guys have any questions that you would like to pitch to us or any stories that you want to share, I'd be more than happy to, you know, have you guys um, give your input because, you know, like we always say, this is as much your podcast as it is ours. Good Lord, English. um, so yeah, anything anything you guys want to add?
Yeah.
Any things you would like to share? Any moments where you any kind of feelings, thoughts on like when you reached a difficult goal, or any times of you reaching like a like big bucket list goal that and like what was that process like? Mine one is, I will say, is moving here. One of mine.
Yeah.
So we'll go,
Yeah.
but I'll go into that later after I've heard something from you guys.
Okay. Um. Yeah. Well, I want us to go to again.
Yeah.
That's a
Okay.
good question.
What
Yeah.
is like your bucket list level goal like that you have achieved like, and what was the process for that? Like a top tier goal almost.
Okay.
I
Well.
think. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mentioned a few like Well, like let's see. I can like what was it when I guess oh yeah, so like the theater stuff, like how I mentioned before, like how that I'd say like realistically out of like more professional like work kind of stuff, that's like probably a big goal is like how I said, branch out more from the one company and do more work, and like here I am now like with the inclusive stuff, like that was a goal there of
Yeah.
mine I reached.
Yeah.
And I guess just by like um I guess like just by like being active in like that scene kind of and just having connections and things like that kind of helps too.
Yeah.
And
So I was gonna say, I'll give you guys a little story of a young Sarah.
Ooh.
So I
you mean Punky,
was
right?
a young Sarah,
It's
a young
fine.
punky.
It's fine.
Yeah. So as a kid, I was very weird, different. When kids would be playing house or whatever during playtime, I would be fighting the agents in the Matrix, pretending I'm Trinity. So, like, from like very, very early age, like 5 years old, I wanted to be an actor,
Yeah.
Yeah.
an actress. And then, like, not long after that, I would start writing my own movies.
Yeah.
On like a piece of paper. I would write down like lines from me and my friends to act, and like I was so dedicated to that for the longest time, and I kind of lost it at some point
Mm.
because I discovered I had a talent for writing,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
which I love writing. I
Yep.
do, and it for a long time I kind of made my identity just as a writer.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's just what I am. It's just a writer.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until, some things happened that kind of inspired me to think on, could I act?
Yeah.
How would I act? How would I do that? And I literally just had to take those first steps. For me, it was to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
It was to go to ECC. And I went and took all of these theater classes. And then I started looking for auditions on Facebook. You find auditions, you have to actually go to them. You have to
Yeah.
practice monologues. You gotta get headshots.
Yep. That's another
And
thing I forgot to mention that it's important to do that I did too. Like look at all these things. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
And
Like
I
that's what I
mean,
meant by like being involved in it, like active, you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
And I mean, now look at me. I'm been writing different plays. I'm
directing
working
too
on a
now.
movie
Yeah.
that I wrote,
Yeah.
literally what I wanted to do as a kid. You
Yeah,
know, that is the biggest goal of my life, and I've gotten there,
There you go.
you
yeah,
know?
And
But it's not easy.
yeah,
It's not
no.
easy, and you gotta work for it.
Yeah.
You gotta pay your dues.
If
yeah.
it
It's true. Yeah, it
if it
takes hard work.
if it I like to think if it wasn't, easy, it wouldn't be the payoff of it wouldn't be as grand as it is.
Right.
I
Yeah.
suppose so.
True, though.
Um
Very true.
because the growth and the growth, the learning, the knowledge that you, and not only you, or knowledge and the influence that you, and not only you, but also us, as proxy, have gained as a result of your goal has been so immense and so awesome. Because think of it this way, I still to this day, credit your movie for jump starting my theater stuff.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I feel
Like where
like
it all began.
it all goes back to that play at ECC. Everything's Groovy.
Right.
That's the one that united us, and that is what built the friendship.
Yeah. Like first came
And
the
then,
band, and then came the
yeah.
movie, and now it's all the theater stuff. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
think about it.
for me, it was just a random chance audition.
If
Yeah.
we never if we never had auditioned for that, if we never would have met, there would be no Sunday Perspective,
Yeah. This wouldn't
no
be happening now.
no band, no
No.
inclusive theater,
No look up.
Yeah,
no
no
look
lookup.
no look up. Like one, and I've discussed this with Kit Kat too, and I've mentioned this to her too. Like a simple chance meeting
Yeah.
set us up.
Can go a long way.
I mean, with Kit Kat, it was in a different context, of obviously, but like I am grateful to have you and you, Telly, in my life, because
Same.
it
Yeah.
is kind of, it's literally we're almost helping each other complete each other's goals in a way.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, we're three parts of a whole person. Yes, you can say.
Yeah, I agree, and you with your determination, not giving up, and you've helped so many people that way, and in doing so, you've also expressed your creativity and have been able to spread your message across to everybody in writing, in acting, and you just kind of making a little name for yourself, and you love to see that. You absolutely
I do love to see it.
absolutely love to see that.
I
It,
love, even more than my own success, I guess, is I love seeing you guys succeeding. I love
Yeah.
seeing all of my friends succeeding.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
being a part of it,
yeah.
you know? Oh, we got Dallas. Dallas says, "This is the kind of vibe I needed on a Sunday night, loving this opportunity to self-reflect. This is the kind of vibe I needed." Oh, okay, so then
Oh, it's
I
awesome.
have to get back into the mindset, making goals and then accomplishing things because I want to, and not because I want to, the recognition of other people.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Because if you are setting goals to because hey, it'll be noticed by such and such person, you should do this because it'll be noticed by such and such person. I feel like I don't know if this is the right phrase to use, but I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure, because
Yeah.
you're at that then it becomes the point of you're living for somebody else.
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
you have to set, again, realistic goals, and part of realistic goals is to set goals that will benefit you,
You.
and
Yeah.
they're not gonna be like, cause like if you're setting goals for somebody else, then there is a chance where, okay, sure, you did the thing, but at what cost?
Yeah.
At what cost?
Right.
If you set your goal to appease somebody or to make somebody else happy, then it's not your goal, it's theirs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and that's goes back to what I said earlier, is I feel like it happens so often that we, we just tend to put ourselves, on the back burner a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
We tend to really want to help others and other people achieve their goals when we do have to more, really focus on ourselves too and our goals. And this, like Dallas said, um, you gotta do these for you.
Yeah. I will read this in a second. I see. Kit Kat wrote a thing. Her goal. But
And Dallas has another one too. Yeah.
yeah. It's like, it's that's why there's such a focus on like, hey, self love, and part of that
Yeah.
is setting goals for yourself.
Yeah.
You controlling your own person. Self love. Like, do things that'll sure do the important things, but do those important things in a way that said it will benefit you, will make you feel better, and won't leave you feeling bitter or like, oh my god, this was a waste of time, why did I do
Yeah.
this?
Or yeah, I thought of something like that. Yeah.
Eh.
Like this one person I follow on Twitter, like they follow me too. They put in their bio, which is a quote that actually that I think of a lot, is they put, "Do whatever makes you happy," which is true.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just think about that sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. But be careful, don't be selfish either.
Right, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what the intention of that
Right.
person was going for. They're not a selfish person either. They're cool, but yeah.
There you go.
It's-
Okay.
They were trying to employ the message we were giving out, is what I'm
Right,
saying. Yeah.
right. And that's very important,
Yeah.
is to take care of yourself. Okay. Mine definitely goes back to what Dallas says Kit Kat. Because I have passion for content creation, that's initially what drove me. And then the hard work came, the disappointment, the burnout, and just life. The commitment to myself and my dream kept me going. I told myself every day, it's anyone's game. The only thing standing in my way is me. True.
Yes.
So
So true.
because they don't just say your worst enemy is your own brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't just say that. It's true. Like, it you're if because it's, again, back to overthinking, but it is, I'm so glad, Kit Kat, that despite all that, you continue to do what you do,
Yeah.
despite the burnout, despite life and disappointment. You continue to do what you do, and you do it so well. And
Yeah, you do.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And we love to see it. We love to be a part of it, because to me, it's like I'm seeing my friend who is doing so well. Like every you might be having hard days, but you're also achieving your dream, and you are doing it so well, and you've got this group of wonderful people around you that, if you're feeling down, they're gonna pick you up. You have the confidence that they're gonna pick you up, and that's like a big goal to as a content creator, is to have a community that
Yeah.
is that supportive, that is gonna be like, hey, maybe today I'm not feeling so good, and they're just like, yeah, that's okay. We'll be here,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So what? It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
Dallas. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, I was gonna say that Dallas says right. And then that goes into the life that you're living. Am I living the life that I think I'm supposed to live? Or am I living the life that I want to live?
Yes.
Which is
Yeah.
such a good point
Right.
because there's so many times where you'll feel like somebody is expecting you to live such and such. It's like, say, for example, your parents raise you, okay, you are going to be a lawyer. And I want you to do these debate classes and all of these classes, and you are going to be a lawyer. And they try to convince you that that's what you want to. But it's one of those cases like, do you really want that, or do you want, say, to be a dancer?
Right.
You
Hmm.
know, it's like you got to recognize when you're um, living the life that you want to live
Right.
and not the one that somebody else is expecting you to
Because
live.
what ends up happening as a result of that is you get into something that you don't believe in your heart of heart. You try to go after a goal that you don't believe in your heart's heart. Um, you just end up being like, why, why?
Yeah.
What am I doing? Like, what is the
And
point of
you're
this?
not happy.
No,
Yeah.
You're not truly happy.
no. So like it ends up, unfortunately, sometimes you end up wasting time trying to
Yeah.
achieve a goal, not being able to get there, and just being like, what was the point of this? Like, you know, like I have
Yeah.
to I have to start over again.
Hmm.
You lose your freedom, correct? That is
Hmm.
so important, to be true to you. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Always be yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if if you set easy, genuine, I'm trying to tie this all back into goals, and I love how the conversation expands. See, this is why I love doing this, because like the conversation always expands, and we always like end up with self-reflection, and it's so beautiful, the conversations that we have here, because
Hmm.
then like we end up learning something about ourselves that
Yeah.
we didn't know maybe an hour ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a beautiful thing. And kind of answering Kit Kat's, it is important to be true to yourself, because
Right.
that way it's just, again, going back to surrounding yourself with people who will help you. Like, that's how you do it. If you're true to yourself, people are gonna see the genuineness of your intention. They're gonna see, okay, you're pretty legit. So this is a person I want to hang out with. This is a person that I can see meeting all their goals, everything, all the happiness in their life. I can see
Yeah.
them having
Yeah.
this. So, you know, that's the kind of person you were like, yeah, I'm gonna hang out with this person. This person is cool, like this type of thing. Because people gravitate towards you if you're genuine
Yeah.
to yourself,
Definitely.
and just in general. Yeah. I love. I think it's great too. Okay, this kind of, I'm thinking about this now, and this podcast I feel like was in a way a goal of mine, because a goal of mine was to be a more confident speaker.
Yeah.
And
You are very much like, I've seen a big difference
yeah,
since, when you first started versus now.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
Big, a lot of confidence.
it was a process. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
lie. It was very difficult for me to like just sit and chit chat. Like in the early days, if I did as a just chatting stream, I would be like, "Hi, yes, I'm Dragon. What's up? how you doing? And you know, and nothing past that. And now having the at least being a little bit better engaged in a conversation. It's still a process. I'm not gonna lie. I still
Yeah.
have my moments of like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the awkward silence, but I don't know how to carry this conversation. Like, I don't have words. Words. What do words? What English do words? You know, like kind of like that type of thing.
I am confusion.
I am confusion, exactly. And it's definitely, you know, it was little by little. It was a tough goal. You know, and so it was a process, and I'm glad I'm at least kind of better at it. You know, to enough to a point where I can now do podcasting. If you'd asked me like a few years ago to do a podcast, I would have been like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
would've
know.
never- Me a few years ago, I wouldn't have imagined myself doing it now. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Dallas has a question.
Okay.
So, related to my previous point, what's a time when you were trying to accomplish a goal that wasn't for you?
Ooh.
Huh.
You know, it's weird because, like, you know, it's the example I gave earlier about the parents pushing, you know, a career choice on the kid.
Yeah.
I never had that with my parents. My parents were always like, "You want to be an actor? Okay, yeah.
Me too.
Oh, you want to
but
make
Evan-
movies? Yeah. Oh, you want to be a paleontologist? Okay, yeah, you can do that. You know."
Yeah.
So it's
I
hard
never
for me to
really-
think.
Me too. I'm kind of in the
Um,
same boat because I never really had a person say, "Oh, you can't do that," or like, I mean, like not that. I mean, like, I never had a person say, "Oh, you gotta grow up and do that." I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in the
Goal
same
that
boat.
wasn't for me. I'm trying to think. That's a really good
That's
question.
a really good question.
It is, yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm.
That's
you
a
got-
thinker.
I'm stumped, yeah.
I'm trying. I'm trying to think. I'm genuinely stumped because I don't know.
Me too, yeah.
Some of it is like kind of like what you said, Punky, but like opposite. You know,
Yeah.
like trying to go one route and the whole time just being like trying to do something, and it was just like, yeah, nah. But also at the same time feeling stuck.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like it here I'll say this one. I just got one. Making friends in the in like when I was a wee kid, when I was just a kid. Cuz and that goal became like it just did not become for me until I
Yeah.
moved here, because it was like no matter what would happen, I would always get pointed out for, oh, you're different. You have, you know, oh, you have this thing. You look different than us. You have this thing. You know, you have a scar on your lip. You're different. So I don't want to be your friend because you're not cool. You know, and after a certain point, I was like, I'm
Yeah,
good. I'm
you-
good. I'm like,
You
I'm
get discouraged from
yeah.
wanting
Yeah.
to, you know, try and put yourself out there again.
right. It was like at certain point I was just like, nah, I'm good. And
Yeah.
I am glad that I was able to break out of that when I got here, because because the people I met, you know, I got acceptance from my peers finally, you know, so that was good. But I mean, I had friends. Let's not get this twisted. I had friends, but very few. Maybe like one.
Got a big comment.
For me, my brother was football player in the family. I could never make a team because I was so frail. But I wanted to sort of keep up. So my high school and my childhood was me trying to make the football team. I ended up making the team in high school, but I didn't feel good because I wasn't really trying to make the team because I wanted to play football. I just wanted to be like him. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and it is interesting that you bring that up because kind of going off of your previous point, like, uh, that question that you gave us earlier is, am I living the life that I think I'm supposed to live, or am I living that life that I want to live? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's kind of, you know, it's kind of like it's a very natural thing for us to want to fit in to a group
Yeah.
Oh
and
yeah.
be like, I don't I don't want to be judged because somebody close to me is doing the one thing, but I'm not doing the one thing. So
Right.
I don't want to be judged for that. So I'm gonna try my darndest to do said thing, and I may not like it,
Hmm.
but I'm gonna do it because I want to fit in. I want to. That's just my approach to it, Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's kind of. If I hope I'm not twisting it too much, but that's just how I see it. Is, I want to fit in. I want to be. I want to have a group, and
Yeah.
I think it's that that kind of mindset really hurt me because I was like, earlier, like when I was a kid, that was kind of my mindset, like, hey, I want to be like the cool kids. I don't want to be different.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So, you know I want to do things that other people are doing. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily doing things that I wanted to do.
Yeah. You do the things like, if you want to be popular, you do the things that you think the popular people would
Yeah.
do,
Right.
kind of thing.
Right.
I know for me, like, it's not really the same. It's kind of similar in that my brothers, especially my brother Matt, um, he played baseball, and then my brother Steven, that he played baseball, and I played softball.
Mm.
And I kept with it longer than I honestly really wanted to because I felt like that's what my dad wanted me to do.
Yeah.
So I just kept playing softball until eventually I told him, like, Dad, this, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at it, but it's funny because now it's like I miss it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually miss that feeling of catching the ball in the middle of your mitt,
Right.
or
Yeah.
hitting that ball with the bat, like that sound, that vibration in your hands. It's
Right.
like, I do miss it, but at the time it just wasn't my goal. It
Right.
Right.
wasn't what I wanted.
I will. I
I just
will.
wanted to be a writer.
Yeah. There you
Yeah.
go. And Telly, I'm so. Do you have something to add to that?
um, I don't think so. No, I was trying to think of something, but yeah, I guess like yeah, just really just do what if you do kind of like what your heart says. Like if you don't want to do something you don't feel comfortable with, then just don't do it. Just do what you really want to do, like what makes you
Yeah.
happy.
Right.
Like
Because
do what's for your best for yourself.
at the end of the day, that is the important bit.
Right.
Um, Dallas says that's exactly it. And even though you set goals and accomplish the goal, there's no real joy because it was a fake goal. Correct.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Right. Because
It's not like gratifying once you do reach it. It's like, oh, cool, I did that.
I guess that's a thing that happened. Like,
It is.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it, but here we are. Like
Right.
you didn't have any emotional investment in it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You just had physical investment, which doesn't necessarily align with what you want to do. Like, okay, yeah, sure, you put in the hours, you put in the work, you did the thing, but are you really satisfied with the thing that you did? Is
Yeah.
is the question that you ask yourself. Like, the goal, are is this goal, did I really I achieve the goal, but did I really
Yeah.
achieve something, you know? And if the answer is yes, great. If the answer is no, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you sit and dwell on that, or do you try to, you know, try to be like, hey, maybe I keep this in mind for next time, and maybe I don't do that again.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and that answer just depends from person to person. Like there are different approaches people can take to deal with such a situation. You know,
Mhm.
um, and it's interesting you said that thing about softball, Punky, because it's like now when you would play softball, you'd be doing it on your terms.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. As back then, I was doing it just to do it because I thought my dad wanted me to.
Right.
But if I were to do it now, it's because I would want to.
Right.
I can't,
Right.
but
Yeah.
Well,
I would love to. And maybe when I do get my wrist is completely fixed, I would love to actually like get out there again and
right.
try
Yeah.
and play catch at least.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We the second that comes off, we be playing catch. I'm be throwing
Yeah.
heaters. We be ready. We be ready. All right. Let me just kind of see our uptime here a little bit. Oh wow. Okay. This is crazy. Anything else you guys would like to add in terms of like setting goals? Anything that you guys have learned? Any stories that you have? Dallas, if you want to add anything, yeah. Anything you would like to
I
share?
was gonna say, like, don't psych yourself out. Don't be hard on yourself.
Right.
You know, don't get mad at yourself. Be patient with yourself.
Right.
When you
Yeah.
set a goal, don't beat yourself up over every little thing that is. If you don't do something towards it that day, don't beat yourself up over
Yeah.
it.
Right.
You've got the next day.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, you got to be patient with yourself.
Right.
You can't stress yourself out over it or
Yeah.
psych yourself out like there's no way I can do that.
Right.
You won't know that until you try.
Right.
You know, just
Mhm.
Like
try.
And just really tell yourself that you can do it too.
yep.
Hmm.
Example.
Don't like doubt yourself. Like just be confident. Be like, I can do this.
Right. Right.
And yeah, and nothing stands in my way. I can do it.
Kind of like, setting yourself what you believe to be short realistic goals, that
Yeah.
you're like, okay, in the bigger picture, that'll happen,
Hmm.
but let's take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
What is my goal for today?
Right.
Yeah.
Not what my
Start.
not what my
Yeah.
goal is for like the end of November, for example.
Right. Yeah.
What am I trying to do today?
Yeah.
And I am gonna be completely honest, I forget things sometimes, so I've actually started writing them down. Like that calendar journal I have,
Hmm.
that was a result of me sometimes forgetting my goals.
Yeah.
I have to do that with my Google Calendar on my
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah.
Because if not, I forget
Cause
like everything.
because I was driving myself crazy. I'll be like, why am I forgetting this thing that I shouldn't be forgetting?
Yeah.
Like, why is this happening? So I need to make a change. So again, using those tools, you know, within your timeline, setting short realistic goals, and taking it one day at a time, and depending on the day, even 1 hour at a time.
Yeah.
Like really slow it down for yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody's timeline is different too. When accomplishing goals, everyone has different obstacles and different lives that affect that timeline. You are your own clock. Yes, that is true. That is true.
Yeah. And that was Dallas.
Yep.
That is absolutely very true.
And as a carpe diem sees today. That's right. That's right. You do. Your Dallas is right. Your day, your expectations of your day, your goals are widely different from
Hmm.
somebody else. Well, they can be similar, but they're generally going to be a little different. Like your different approaches to maybe the same thing, and
Yeah.
you know, because not everybody internalizes and compartmentalizes goals the same way. Different people have different approaches, so
Hmm.
it is important to when going to goals is to figure out your way.
Yeah.
What way
Yeah.
works for you? Like you you have to like see all every tip that somebody could possibly give you and be like, okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G didn't work for me, but A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, but H worked for me. So I'm gonna use
Hmm.
that, like it's
Yeah,
it
just because something works for somebody else doesn't mean it's going to work for you, and vice
right,
versa.
Yeah.
right,
That's true.
right. It's you have to find what your method of getting to a goal. You have to find
Yeah.
your way. Some people say, "Oh, my way or the highway." For this,
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
Yeah,
Right.
no, for this scenario, yeah.
For this, it doesn't work because for this, everybody operates differently. Like I said, so it's like if not okay, not if not my way, maybe try this way and this way. Like being more open minded to like different approaches to goals, because and as directors we have to be mindful of that, because like not everybody learns the same way.
Yeah.
you know every actor has a different approach. Wow, I keep bringing I don't have to be married and own a house at 30, Lamont. Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
You don't have
I
to. Yeah.
hate like our parents or grandparents say, "Oh, by your age, you should be
Yeah.
having your own house and a family by now." And I'm like,
in this
Grandpa,
economy.
slow down.
Yeah,
Housing market is shit.
Right.
No,
There's inflation
don't
going
even get
on.
me
Yeah.
started.
yeah, it's like in this economy, I don't
Things
know.
have changed.
Yeah.
Everyone learning differently was something I had to learn as a manager. Yes.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're working with different people, you got to learn that
Yeah.
um, you got to kind of accommodate other people, the different types of, methods of learning things.
Kit Kat also says everyone has a different timeline. No two are the same. Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
100% correct. Um, it's because for I'm gonna speak for myself here. It's like I'm not an audio visual learner. Like if you say something to me, like hey, what, and you asked me down the line what that thing was, I couldn't tell you. I'm more of like
Hmm.
what's writing? What's the word for writing? Is it kinesthetic?
I think so. Yeah. It's. I'm thinking.
That
I think it's kinesthetic.
I have to write things down, otherwise I will forget.
Hmm.
That's why Telly and Punky, I will ask you sometimes, like if you tell me something audibly, I'll ask the same thing twice, sometimes even three times, because sometimes I just can't register it the first time.
I'm
Yeah.
the same way.
Yeah.
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 Me too. Kind of. Yeah.
Because if directions are too confusing, I just cannot.
Mhm.
I'm just
Yeah.
like,
I'd say I'm like audio. I'd say yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
I'd say like I could be audio and kinesthetic at the same time. Yeah.
right.
Like an
S-
example. Makes me know it's kind of a weird one. Like
Okay.
uh like one example was like kind of like with a, like I remember one point during our filming last year we got an influx of emails at once, and they were very confusing, and like
Yeah.
when the three of us talked about it, we understood it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about for like the rescheduling. Like there was a huge. I remember there was a massive influx of
Yeah.
like emails, and some actors were confused too. And then like when we got together,
Yep.
we kind of
Right.
figured it out.
I was like, I was
Yeah.
genuinely overwhelmed. I was like,
I was a little overwhelmed too. Yeah.
what is
Yeah.
happening? What is
Yeah.
happening right now? Like,
Things got a little crazy, but we were able to manage it and get
Right.
the film
Right.
eventually. Yeah.
because we had a guide, we had people to be like, you know, we had Punky really to help us kind of work through that and be like, you know, and I'm sure you noticed that too, Punky, us feeling overwhelmed and kind of the way you worked with us was like, it's beautiful, like, oh, absolutely, like kind of breaking it down slowly, like, hey, okay, this is how it's happening and this is when it's happening, and I just love that. I just love
Yeah.
It's
that.
just you got to be patient with people and
Yes,
make
you gotta
sure
listen to
that
people.
you guys are that we're all communicating and we all
Right.
understand what we're doing, and you know, patience is everything.
Right. Kit Kat says, stay true to your own calling and it will come to you. Nobody else knows what you're going through and your path is. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming back to surrounding yourself with good people, you know,
Right.
that becomes easier when you surround yourself with a good supportive component, a good supportive community who will see that you are like getting frustrated and overwhelmed, and they're gonna be like, all right, look, I see you, I recognize that this is a thing that's happening, so how can I help you, you know, like, what can I do to kind of break this down and help you out, you know,
Yeah.
and make this goal, this task easier for you, you know. It's just how it is with, you know, with people. Like, you gotta just be, I feel like, be very mindful, and especially in my line of work, because I am a youth counselor, so it's different.
Oh yeah.
Different
Yeah.
learning styles, plus learning disabilities, plus behaviors, like, that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, that it teaches you a lot of patience, because
Yeah.
these students are trying to get through their day. They have goals in mind. A lot of them don't know how to express themselves, how to express their goals, and you gotta be the one to sift through all the chaos and be like, okay, here's what you gotta do. Take a nice deep breath. Here's what you gotta do, and here's how you can do it. You know, you gotta be, as a youth counselor, you gotta be their guide.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I can totally see that.
Yep. So yeah, it is 10:20.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
This was a really good podcast,
Yeah,
guys.
it was.
This was really good. Any final thoughts you guys wanna do before we jump out?
I don't think so. I think
Yeah, I don't think
everything
so.
that I had intended to talk about, I think I've touched on all of it.
Right. Same here.
Yeah.
Telly?
Yeah, maybe it's sort of like two things. Like one thing I forgot to mention was like in regards to like content creation too, like just Twitch is a small thing. Like one goal of mine this year was to hit 50 followers, and I did.
There you
Um,
go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's one thing.
Hypes. You love
So-
to see that.
Yeah. And another thing I'd say I like to work towards now is whether this one's possible. It's some of the writing pieces we've done. Maybe get that published somewhere. Like
Yeah.
someone uses a play or even a production. Like a
Oh
film or something.
yeah.
My
Like the play Ava we made, or even this new Alien story,
Yes.
which is in the very early stages. But
Yeah.
I mean, one day it can be somewhere big. But like that's gonna take time and hard work to get to that.
Yeah. One of my biggest goals is to see Ava to production. That's
Yeah.
I
one of
would love that. I
Oh,
can't. I
that's
know it's
possible,
gonna
yeah.
happen someday.
Oh my
It has
God.
to.
Possible,
I
yeah.
cannot wait for that. All right. So who's live right now? Let's go rate somebody. This one will probably be a silent raid,
Yeah.
which means we won't have their voice in the background like we usually do. Who's live currently? I know. Oh, Warlock is live.
Yeah, I think he's back now.
Oh my god. Okay, we're raiding Warlock. I'm gonna go ahead and set that up real quick. But yes, to our listeners on Spotify, thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you're listening to us in your commute, I appreciate you guys, all your support and all your continued support that you guys have been giving us. Control C. Okay, so some things to look out for. Telly, do you want to announce some of our potential episodes that may come?
Yeah, so coming on the pipeline here. So like in regards to future episodes, 2 things we got in the works. We're thinking of doing is next time, or can really be whenever. Like 2 guests we're looking to have on the podcast would be Dallas, who is in chat, our director. We're looking to have him on the podcast, and also get Punky's brother Steven in eventually, because both of them have shown interest in coming on.
Right, and also
And we're looking to get to either one of them, like get episodes with both of them at some point too.
right. And we had that conversation with Dallas today. So
We did, yeah. And I talked to Steven a few days ago, and he showed some interest to me.
Right.
So like
I
that's when I
can
brought it
totally
up.
see him wanting to do that.
Yeah, we were talking the other day, like when I finished recording with him. He was like, I just brought up our podcast because of the conversation me and him were just having. We were engaged in a conversation. I was like, oh yeah, it reminds me of this episode of podcast. He's like, oh yeah, I like what you guys do. I'd like to be on that sometime. And I even was like, I think and we'd like to have you sometime. You should come on. And he's like, yeah, I'd be down. And then
Right.
So then I saw he's shown interest, and I brought it to your attention.
Yeah, and you love to see it. All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. With that, we're gonna go ahead and raid Warlock. He's been back after so long, so of course we're gonna raid him. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. This was the Sunday Perspective podcast. My name is Dragon. With me, I've had Telly.
Good night, everybody.
And I've had Punky.
Golden Knot, everybody.
And
That's Swedish.
right. Punky's learning Swedish, which you love to see. I'm gonna see how you progress with that. I'm so excited for that. And yeah, guys, next episode will be not next Sunday, but the following Sunday. I'm not sure what it's gonna be, which one it's gonna be at the moment, but it is gonna be one of those. But yes, guys, everybody, be safe, take care, and we will see you next time. I love that so much every time. Good night, everybody. Be safe.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Oh, Poet just jumped in to say lurk right as he could.